It is a very special honor that is awarded to the 8th graders in the state of South Carolina, the ones who were done very well in the PSATs, and they score in the 550 points in the language arts and writing, and 530 and above in mathematics. We have 154 students for all of our 7 middle schools. Equally, the parents deserve congratulations for raising the children they have raised, and absolutely our district could not have done without their input, encouragement, and hard work, and especially the collaboration that they show with their students, school, faculty, and administration. I think this is the best time of the year because you see all the hard work to come to an end, and for us to be at the place where we are in the entire state of South Carolina and produce the students we have produced, it warms your heart up, excites you, and wants you to work even harder. Tonight is neither an ordinary day nor an ordinary event. We're here to honor the finest of our middle schoolers who perform at the very academic top of our state. I would like to start of giving a hand to the Spring Valley's High School Orchestra led by Dr. Janine Parnell. Please stand to honor our junior scholars as they enter the room and remain standing for the presentation of colors, national anthem, and the Pledge of Allegiance. The Blythewood High School Army Junior ROTC will present the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order! 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 Order!
In Richland School District Two, we got gifts and talents. Oh boy, we do. Thank you. Thank you. A warm you may be seated now. A warm welcome to all of you. We have the honorable members of our Board of Trustees, Mr. Manning, and the chairperson, Craig Plank, our superintendent, the assistant superintendent, our chief officer, and parents, guardians, grandparents, friends, neighbors, and tonight's most honored guest, you, the 2018 Junior Scholars. Board members, we thank you for guiding and enabling us to create a dynamic community where learning is a passion and each day is infused with a spirit of joy. Our assistant superintendents, along with the district's chief instructional officer, encourage, inspire, motivate students and faculty and staff. We appreciate you for your hard work, for your commitment and dedication. Proud parents and guardians, how can one even attempt to congratulate you for wisely providing your sons and daughters the opportunities to create, to lead, to construct, to excel? Our district has great pedagogical resources, but without your support, parental support, input, energy, and encouragement, we would not be here tonight. Junior Scholars, let us hear your loudest applause for your parents. ones, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Junior scholars, you have accomplished more than your peers, and you have shown the dedication, the intellect, and the heart that it takes to strive for excellence, not only in our community, but in the entire state. You are prepared for the journey to come. Junior scholars, we're very, very proud of you. We look forward to the wonder of the future achievements that will certainly fund our social security checks. Congratulations and best wishes. It is a distinct privilege to introduce the Honorable Craig Plank, the chairman of our Richland School District Two Board of Trustees. Equipped with a gifted and lively mind, our board chair communicates with clarity and guides with strong management skills. It is always a pleasure to see him visiting our schools and district office all hours of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, and junior scholars, our chairperson, Craig Plank.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. I appreciate that. When I walked in, I thought, this is my type of crowd. I mean, I walked up here at 5:30 and thought, what time does this begin? Because everyone was already here. I love it. That's the way I love our meetings to go. Our junior scholars have been here since 5:15, and they look so happy. So I figured I'd start by doing a little in reverse. Let's get a big cheer, a big crazy yell. Let's get you guys to stand up for a second. Come on, let's go. Let's go, stand up. All right, now you heard the request for applause. Now I want screams and just yelling. Go. All right, well done. I love it. I love it. So much for the articulates nicely and all reserved. So let's go over here to this side of the room where our parents were so spread out. Let's go ahead and do it in reverse as well. Let's get a nice cheer and yell from you guys. Stand, please. That's what I'm talking about. You guys are a little, they're doing a little better than you are. Let's try it one more time over here. Are you ready? Go. Student. Okay, this side, now you guys get a little break because you're about half the size over here. Let's go ahead and cheer it now. All right, well done. We thank the Spring Valley Choir, the Spring Valley Orchestra for what they're doing here tonight. Earlier I walked in, you guys can have a seat now. I couldn't help myself. I walked into their room next door as they were politely sitting there, and the organizers were trying to keep them calm, cool, and collected until I got in the room. And so I have a habit of stopping by classrooms and love to read and then get them all riled up, and then I bolt. And the poor teacher has to kind of pull them all back together again. But in an effort to keep this rolling, I realized, gave them some insight to what goes through my head. So you guys are all here tonight. We've got about 100 kids here, young adults here, and I asked one of them, I figured, well, these are our junior scholars. They can figure this stuff out pretty quickly. How many rows were there? How many students were across? They gave me the number. About how many seconds does it take for each one of you guys to have to be recognized on stage? You remember, what did you guys say? 45 seconds. So 45 seconds for each person to come up and accept and be recognized. And so by how many students? Well, 100. So we starting to go, oh my goodness. That's what a lot of us parents over here start to calculate. How long is this thing going to take? Well, I just wanted to let you guys know we appreciate all your effort, you parents, family members. I see a lot of you. I also saw some people saluting the flag earlier, so we appreciate those who dedicate their lives every day to our country and also put in the effort to be dads, moms, and other relatives who help assist our kids. It's a great honor. You guys are in the top 2% of your peers, and you've worked really hard. And we talk in our district about being a premier district, and part of that premier district is hitting that academic success and shooting for excellence. And before you, we have 100+ kids, young adults who have reached that. And so we're so proud of you and appreciate all you do. So on behalf of the Richland School Board of Trustees, We honor you, we thank you, and thank you for all your support. We'll move on at this point. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Always. Thank you. Thank you. We are proud to have the award-winning Spring Valley High School Orchestra and Spring Valley High School Chorus to perform for us tonight. And they're under the direction of conductor Dr. Janine Parnell and director Dr. Patrick Hawkins. Dr. Janine Parnell has been a university professor and an orchestra director at all academic levels. An accomplished violinist and violist, she has taught, presented, provided workshops, and performed professionally with world-renowned artists throughout the United States, including New York's Lincoln Center and Washington's Kennedy Center. Dr. Patrick Hawkins has presented in regional, national, and international conferences. He has been a guest lecturer at music conferences in Scotland, Spain, Italy, and South Korea. He just co-wrote the first exhibition book for the newly opened Carolina Music Museum in Greenville. Both of our student groups have not only consistently excelled and been awarded the highest ratings, but they're also scholars, athletes, teacher cadets, academic tutors, mentors, and soon-to-be military servicemen and women. Thank you for joining us tonight. The Spring Valley High School Choir will entertain us with two musical selections, Psalm 150 and When I Fall in Love.
Laudate eum virtutibus eius, laudate
Wonderful. Thank you very, very much. Wonderful. Dr. Dean Roof has taught at Richland Northeast for 17 years in multiple capacities as a beloved and highly respected AP English Literature and Composition instructor and as an English department co-director. To Richland School District Two's delight, after spending 4 years as an adjunct and ELA math intersupervisor with the University of South Carolina, he has returned home as our district's instructional coach. Dr. Roof has many awards attached to his remarkable work. His most favorite ones are Richland Northeast Teacher Superlative, Student Selected, R&E's Teacher of the Year for 3 consecutive years, Faculty Selected, Culture of Excellence in Education, Superintendent Selected. Dr. Dean Roof will introduce his former student and our keynote speaker. Dr.
First, congratulations on your success as the district's 2018 Junior Scholars. You have something in common this evening with your guest speaker, who is also a former Junior Scholar as well, several years ago. He's created an amazing story of success, and hopefully he will inspire you to do the same. To be successful, you cannot fail to take advantage of opportunities, and they're all around you. You've heard the old adage, when opportunity knocks, open the door. But if it doesn't knock, an impatient man once said, don't wait, just grab a chainsaw and cut open a door for yourself. And sometimes you too have to create your own doors, and sometimes you create your own opportunities. But regardless, you have to act one way or the other. For ultimately, life is about what you do, not what you could have, would have, or should have done. I'm about to introduce to you a young man who has definitely taken advantage of his opportunities. I first met Michael in my senior advanced placement English class in 2004. He is a very bright young man. He was reserved, exceptional, and confident in every area except one, and that was his writing. He wrote maturely, beautifully, but very cautiously. I knew he would one day find confidence in his writing. After graduating from Richland Northeast High School, Michael attended Princeton University. There he became editor-in-chief and president of Business Today, a student magazine founded by Steve Forbes in 1968. Later, his senior thesis was awarded the Hellenic Studies Senior Thesis Prize, class of 2008. Obviously, his writing and his confidence in his writing did improve. He graduated from Princeton magna cum laude with a degree in politics. After Princeton, Michael worked for 2 prestigious international investment companies on Wall Street. Then he traveled a great distance as a visiting scholar to teach and conduct research at a premier university in Beijing, China. Returning to the U.S., he moved to San Francisco, where he spent 6.5 years working for Peter Thiel and his global investment companies. Currently, Michael is the Deputy U.S. Chief Technology Officer and Deputy Assistant to the President, yes, the President of the United States, at the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. Michael serves as one of the President's top technology advisors, counseling him on a broad range of technology policy and strategic initiatives. In 2017, Michael served as the U.S. head of delegation at the international conferences in both Canada and Turin, Italy, discussing the global impact of digital technologies. Also, under Michael's direction, the White House hosted the American Leadership Emerging Technology Summit, and later he led the White House effort to integrate drones into the national airspace system, resulting in a presidential memorandum that called for the establishment of the Unmanned Aircraft Systems Integration Pilot Program. In his spare time, if he ever has any, Michael is a distance runner, completing in the 2005 Philadelphia Marathon and qualifying for the Boston Marathon in 2013. He has a passion for technology, politics, photography, and worldwide travel. Still, he has taken time to return to his hometown, to his mom's home cooking, just a wonderful home cook, and to address you, to encourage you as future scholars. You may decide that you want to follow in his footsteps, or even better, with confidence and opportunities, create new paths of your own. So, from Princeton, from Wall Street, from Beijing, from San Francisco, from Washington, and the White House, I present our guest speaker this evening, Michael Gracias.
Thank you, Dr. Roof. I sincerely appreciate that over-generous introduction. But it's truly an honor to be here tonight, back in my hometown, surrounded by some of the brightest minds of the next generation. You should all be incredibly proud of this accomplishment, of being named a South Carolina Junior Scholar. To the parents, to the teachers, to the administrators, and friends here tonight, you deserve an extra special thanks. The support that you provide day after day and night after night through endless hours of studying and mentoring is critical to the success of all of our distinguished students here this evening. And to our scholars, congratulations. This is an incredible achievement, and I'm sure the first of many, many to come. In Washington, I work on technology policy. That is trying to find ways to create a regulatory environment that supports and encourages the development of new technologies here in the United States. A great example of the type of work that I do is what Dr. Roof mentioned around drones. So, not sure if you know this, but currently FAA regulations prohibit commercial operations of drones here in the United States. Now, operators are not allowed to fly their drones over people, at night, or beyond visual line of sight. Now, whether it's Amazon wanting to deliver a package to your backyard, or it's a first aid and rescue squad wanting to send you life-saving medicine to a hard-to-reach area, it is unfortunately against the law to do either of those things. Now, as a result, this has forced companies like Google and Amazon to actually move their testing operations abroad to places like the United Kingdom and Australia. Now, this is something that should not be happening. America should be the home to these innovations. And we looked at this problem and developed and launched a pilot program late last year that's going to allow 10 state, local, and tribal governments to partner with commercial operators to test these novel applications here in the U.S. So this is the type of work that we do. We are relentlessly focused on identifying barriers to innovation in our great country and creatively developing solutions to eliminate them. Yet, every great discovery, every new technology that you can't imagine living without came from someone who wanted to push beyond the boundaries of what we know. And all of you here are well positioned to carry that torch, becoming tomorrow's builders, engineers, technologists, and designers who will vastly improve life as we know it. So I grew up just down the street in Wildwood, and this day remain a very proud graduate of E.L. Wright Middle School. At the time, I don't think I fully appreciated the opportunities that were presented to me and the launchpad that is our premier Richland District Two. I am by no means an expert at giving career advice, much less academic advice, but there are two consistent threads in my life that I would like to discuss with you today. Those are places and people. So first, places. The world is big, but it is not that big. We are blessed to live in the greatest country in the world, and might I add, the greatest state in our United States. Yet my greatest adventures, lessons learned, friends made were when I left my comfort zone, took a chance, and in all honesty, as cliche as it may sound, traveled into the unknown. As Dr. Roof mentioned, my first job after school was in New York. After a few years in the city, I was ready for something new, ready for a change. A surprising opportunity presented itself to me. I could go live in China for a semester and teach and research at a university in Beijing. Now, at first blush, this is actually pretty crazy. All my friends were in New York. My parents were here in South Carolina. I didn't speak a word of Mandarin. I didn't know a single soul in Beijing, and not to mention that the pay was absolutely terrible. So nevertheless, I took the plunge, and it turned out to be one of the greatest decisions of my entire life. I met and I worked with incredible faculty and scholars. I was forced to create an entirely new network of friends. My students were some of the most brilliant in all of China and have gone on to have really impressive careers in finance and engineering and in medicine. So my recommendation to you tonight, travel early in life. Try a summer camp in another state. Apply to a school on the other side of the country. As the years pass, roots grow stronger, and while the opportunities may still exist and present themselves, the execution becomes harder and harder. The people you will meet, the things you will see will change you, and change you for the better. Now to people. My old boss in San Francisco had a theory about tracked careers. High achievers, like yourselves, he argued, were particularly susceptible to this trap. You all now have scored in the top 2 percentiles of the PSAT as middle schoolers. You will soon be admitted into a prestigious magnet program at one of our high schools, where you will work hard and get the best grades and score well on the actual SAT so you can get into the best college. There, when you get to college, you will work hard and you will get the best grades and you will score well on your MCAT so you can get into the best medical school. And there, you're going to work hard and you're going to get the best grades and you'll score really well on your board so you can get into the best residency. And it keeps going on and on. These paths are easily understood and very well trodden. So it's no surprise most of us follow these tracks. Participants know the rules and they understand what it takes to succeed. But the reality is these tournaments, if you will, are extremely competitive and winning is really hard and oftentimes, ultimately, not the most fulfilling. Escaping the competition, charting your own course, leading the pack on your own path is what you should be striving towards. And the key to that is people. I used to think all I had to do was score well on tests and get good grades and everything in life would just work out. The truth is, relationships, people, human interaction are most critical to future success. Some estimate that upwards of 85% of all open job positions are filled through networking. As much as 80% of new jobs are never listed, but are instead filled internally or via networking. I experienced this personally. From my time in China to my time in San Francisco and ultimately my role in Washington, friends helped me get my foot in the door each and every time. The personal connections in your life will ultimately have the biggest impact on your professional life. Nurture those relationships and help leverage them to escape from the competition and start something on your own. Now, don't sit complacent in the rat race of competition. Use what you know and what you learn to create new ways to make life better and easier. Use what you will learn to find new approaches to research in medicine, in space, in materials, in computer science, to design tools that will reshape the way we humans build, to create entire new technologies and industries that the world has not yet imagined, and build the next great companies that we will be unable to live without. Simply by being here tonight, you've proven that you know how to access the tools to help our great nation. And you have an immense network of friends, family, and mentors who will support you along the way and encourage you in all of your endeavors. They've proven that by being with you every step thus far. As you continue in your education, continue your passion for learning and feed your curiosity for what's new. Continue developing your skills and your knowledge beyond the classroom so you can be learning throughout the rest of your lives. As you eventually move into your careers, we want you to operate in an economic environment that encourages innovation and a social culture that helps you excel. We want you to be surrounded by people and policies that are open to new ideas and reward bold thinking. Our country needs more scientists, more technologists, more designers, more scholars like you. It's the only way we'll continue to be at the forefront of creating the future. You, the students in this room today, have worked very hard to get here, and everyone in this room wants you to succeed. Everybody here wants to do whatever we can to make sure that you take advantage of your knowledge, your work ethic, and your passion to go out into the world and make a difference. I'll leave with one last thanks To all the scholars this year, thank you for being an inspiration. I look forward to seeing what amazing discoveries are made and what life-changing technologies are created by the people sitting in this room today. Thank you so much.
I hear it the first time as you did. Good job, Michael Gracias. Very good job. I'm impressed. 60 languages are spoken by our district student body from 66 different nations. Dr. Teresa Riley Stevens, our district's marketing director, will take on the burden of properly pronouncing the names of all our junior scholars. Each of our candidates' names will be announced as they come on stage to receive their certificates. In order for all 154 candidates' names to be heard, please hold your applause until all the certificates have been awarded. Thank you.
Congratulations, scholars. It is really a privilege for me to be able to do this because this is as close as I ever get to a junior scholar. I never was one. So it's a privilege. All right, we will begin with a very easy name, Noah Adams. Jalen Adams, Braden Allen, Lillian Alchul, Alexander Anili, Chad Averett, Caroline Barnes, David Barnett, Luke Beard, Evan Beck, Cameron Bills, Maxwell Bloom, Casey Bowling, Kylie Boston, Andrew Boysha, Amaya Brewer, Victoria Brooke, Jordan Brown, Zachary Brown, Catherine Brown, Jackson Butler, Angelina Kane, Eva Camlin, Sophie Carlton, Anna Carroll, Dylan Chow, Ellis Chin, Eileen Chin, Jackson Clark, Abram Coleman, Macy Collins, Abigail Collins, Kennedy Corbin, Evan Cox, Katia Daniel, Ian Doherty, Blythe Davis, Peyton Davis, Brennan Davis, Parth Desai, Rishi Desai, Scott Dillon, Kathleen Dotson, Justin Ellis, George Escobedo, Michael Facto, Justin Fleming, Wesley Fletcher, Madison Futch, Shyam Ganesh Babu, Grace Gatman, Jordan Goings, Avery Goodale, Abigail Goutier, Andrew Grant, Giles Gregory, William Gregory, Zayana Guider, Cara Hankinson, John Heath, Noah Hicks, Angel Wong, Zachary Wong, Dylan Israel, Connor Jackson, Jonathan Jeffcoat, Riley Johnson, William Johnson, Abigail Kaczynski, Sharia Kapoor, Skylar King, Anish Kulkarni, Turner Lamb, Landon Langridge, Philip Larkins, Caleb Ledley, Abigail Lee, Song Lee, Drake LeSure, Christopher Lee, Kyla Lloyd, Corinne Lunn, Jadiz Malabrea Ortiz, Brandon Marshall, Kennedy Martin, Emma McArthur, Elizabeth McCollum, Tyler McDonald, Elijah McFadden, Austin Meisner, Joshua Meisner, Arpuerva Mitta, Andrew Moore, Samuel Montaneau, Dorian Murphy, Caitlin Murray, Tia Myers, Hannah Myers, Paul Navis, Madeline Neely, Henry Nelson, Tim Wynn, Carolyn Nutter. I'm going to hold up just a second. William O'Kane, Alawatobi Adobina, Sanjana Paris. Now, if Toby wasn't coming, somebody could have told me. I really practiced that one. Peyton Parker Smith, Ryan Peterson, Henry Pettis, Evelyn Plackle, Pranav Pula, Moksha Prabhu, Emery Randall, Leah Reyes, Parker Reyes, Kennedy Reynolds, Steve Robinson, Avery Ramriel, Ethan Rumpel, Caitlin Sove, Cynthia Schaefer, Seth Scholl, Lauren Scott, Lisbeth Scott, Hope Scott, William Sherman, Sahildeep Singh, Abdul Solomon, Nicholas Spencer, Freedom Spiva, Jack Stacy, David Stark, Aiden Stoughton, Ava Swindler, Evan Taylor, Genesis Taylor, Shreya Thiagu, Simran Tipabaltla, Lauren Tachi, Yana Udani, Noah Valsecki, Zachary Barine, Terry Watson, Kaylee Watson, Regan Watson, Madeline Webster, Aaliyah Wiggs, James Wilcher, Blakely Wild, Isaiah Williams, Spencer Williams, Alexander Winslow, Anad Yaruva, and Joshua Yao. Congratulations, all scholars.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens, for embarking on the most vexing challenge of the evening. Last year, I had the privilege to introduce our superintendent-elect. This year, I am thrilled to again welcome our superintendent, Dr. Baron Davis. On a daily basis, we have seen his analytical brilliance, razor-sharp focus, high-speed execution, and compassion for those he serves. He has gained the reputation as someone who could bring together people of diverse backgrounds with varying opinions to work on complex problems and achieve practical solutions. He consistently proves his leadership at all levels. As Facebook's CEO said, leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact lasts in your absence. Dr. Baron Davis personifies Aristotle's best in education. He is guided by his principles and faith. He shares a clear vision for our district based on his wisdom and sound judgment. He has charmed us with his frank and open nature, his directness and simplicity. Junior scholars, ladies and gentlemen, our superintendent, Dr. Baron Davis, a scholar of high integrity and character, to give us our closing remarks. Dr. Baron.
The gentleman that Dr. Gracias just introduced, I'm going to stand in his place because I don't know who that person is, but she always does a wonderful job of giving us these encouraging words to make us feel very good about ourselves and our accomplishments. But let me first start off by saying that all the things that she shared is just a reflection of those individuals that stood before me, those that stand with me, and those that stand behind me, and that's the collectiveness of our entire school district. And so I humbly accept the responsibility of representing all of you in those kind words. Thank you, Dr. Gracias. Also to Michael, thank you for those wonderful words. I didn't think you could find a better speaker than last year, since I was a speaker last year, but you outdid yourself by staying in-house and going with your son. But more importantly, with the Richland 2 graduate. I think it's important for our students to see the types of products that Richland 2 has produced and continue to produce and will continue to produce in the future. So thank you, Michael. To the Spring Valley Orchestra, as well as the ROTC from Blythewood High School and the Spring Valley Chorus. We appreciate all that they have done to make this a very enjoyable occasion. To our board chair, our former board chair, all of our guests, I say good afternoon or good evening. Dr. Gracias gave me some last-minute instructions before I stood up here, and it was very important. She said to remember to tell the guests that at the conclusion of this program, that we're going to let the students go out first to partake in the cake. And I think the cake was so important that I didn't want to forget, because I probably would beat all of y'all in line to get to the cake first. So when we conclude, we're going to let the students go out first to partake in the cake, and then we will follow out. And of course, you'll have the opportunity and the privilege to take photos and anything of that nature that you deem necessary to do. If you've had an opportunity to listen to me bring closing remarks or introductions, one of the things that you probably know by now is that I like to quote a poem or read a poem because I really enjoy poems, and they always have some sort of meaning that I can connect to. And so in looking for a poem for this occasion, I came across many, but one stood out to me more than any other for this particular occasion. And it's a poem written by Marianne Williamson, and I think many of you are probably very familiar with the poem. And so if you don't mind, I'm going to take a little bit of creative license here and change a few of the words to the poem to maybe fit this occasion a little bit better. So for our students, the poem goes this way. Our greatest fear is our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate, but that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, handsome, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are Richland 2 junior scholars. Playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightening about shrinking so that others won't feel insecure around you. As we let our light shine, we consciously give others permission to do the same. And as we are liberated from our fear, our presence is automatically liberates others. In this poem, the author is reminding us that it is okay to strive to be the very best version of ourselves. Richland 2 strives to be the premier school district, period. A district where all partners are committed to creating, sustaining, and investing in a culture and environment of excellence, and where all are afforded the opportunity to maximize their gifts and talents as they pursue their own individual pathways to purpose. And so if you take a moment to examine the word premier, you will find that the dictionary defines premier as simply as this: first in importance, order, or position. But for you, our junior scholars, and for our parents, and for our administrators, and for our entire Richland 2 community, we look at premier a little bit differently. We define premier as a mindset. It is a belief. It is about behaviors and actions. It is about striving to be premier in everything that we do, in every task that we take on, in every assignment that we complete. It is, without question, a relentless, unyielding, insatiable, and unapologetic desire to demonstrate our core values consistently. Those values of learning, character, community, and joy. It is also the application of our principal practices: innovation, diversity and inclusion, data-informed decision-making, communication, and partnerships. And it's the accomplishments of our universal goals to establish and maintain healthy cultures and climates, to develop our partner talents, the talents of our students, the talents of our employees, and the talents of our community, and to remain in all ways to be achievement-oriented. There are 57,108 eighth graders in South Carolina this year. 3,589 of those eighth graders are junior scholars, and this represents about 6.3% of all eighth graders. In Richland 2, there are 2,170 eighth graders, of which 154 have been recognized as junior scholars. So that's approximately about 7% of all eighth graders in Richland 2 have been recognized. John William Gardner, the 6th United States Secretary of Health and Education and Welfare, once said that some people have greatness thrusted upon them. Few, however, have excellence thrust upon them. You must achieve it. Anyone can have a flash in the pan moment of greatness. What you have achieved and demonstrated up to this moment is sustained excellence. This is not by happenstance. This is by design, and it is a testament to your work ethic, your commitment, your dedication, your drive, and your support systems. You have demonstrated yourselves to be premier scholars, and so we congratulate each of you on your commitment to sustain academic excellence on achieving this outstanding accomplishment. However, the best, I am sure, is yet to come. We would also like to extend a special thank you to all of the parents, the guardians, and those who play a role in supporting our students. It takes commitment and dedication to excellence to achieve this recognition, and for that, we honor you as well. So I'll leave you with these final words, and I will leave you with the words of Aristotle. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but it's a habit. Your accomplishments on being named a South Carolina Junior Scholar warrants a pause for recognition and celebration because your great habits have paid off. So on behalf of all administrators, faculty, staff, parents, family members, and friends, I say congratulations to our premier junior scholars. Please join me in a round of applause.